feels like it's been 20 years since we first heard about ChatGPT and explored it, but it's actually just turned 3 and it's come a long way since then. We know that. We're taking a look at how it has changed since then and what could happen in the future with Mr. Mike Bennett, Associate Vice Chancellor for Data Science and Artificial Intelligence Strategy at UIC. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's my pleasure.
Okay, so let's talk about this big birthday that it just had on Sunday, you said. It seems like it's been around forever.
It does.
You know, it's really taken over our lives, I feel.
It's hard to think of any other topic that we've talked about so much for such a long period of time, especially a topic that is so arcane and technologically sophisticated. It's pretty miraculous. Everyone talks about it. I hear people talking about it on public transportation. Of course, at UIC, it's all we talk about. Business, government, it's everywhere, and it has been for 3 solid years.
You know what I find very interesting is I know it's 3 years old and it feels like it's been here for a very long time, but there are some people that are still a little apprehensive about ChatGPT. Talk about how it's really influenced our everyday lives and pop culture.
It's such a huge phenomena, in part, I believe, because we've been hearing stories about artificial intelligence for literally a century. So the first pop cultural instance, depiction of it, in other words, was probably Metropolis, Fritz Lang's movie. So Weimar Germany, 1920s. And you had an artificially intelligent being, a synthetic being, that was involved with an uprising in Germany. And ever since then, we've had, whether they're stories in film or in books or radio productions, cartoons, we've been hearing about. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, Jetsons. That's who it was, the Jetsons.
There we are. Ever since that first movie, and probably some things earlier than that, but certainly that big one in the 1920s, we've continuously been exposed to ideas about artificial beings, synthetic minds, artificial intelligence, and now that we are finally, as a culture, as a society, starting to get a glimpse at what that actually looks like practically, it's a situation in which, quite literally, we've seen this movie before.
You know, I feel like it's a Wild West, guys. I typically, honestly, don't use it much in my own day-to-day life. My husband uses it quite a bit sometimes. No flack on anyone who uses it for schooling, during education too, trying to study and such. Is it as crazy as maybe it seems in my head than it really is, or is there more of a structure than I'm aware of?
It's Wild West-y in the sense that there's still very few guardrails for individuals who are non-experts to turn to figure out what the best ways are to use, and importantly, to not use this technology. It's Wild West-y in the United States, at least, because we still don't have very many formal pieces of regulation to help guide the technology's use and development. Interestingly enough, at the beginning of January 2026, we will have a new state law taking effect here in Illinois that'll involve, it's designed to help govern AI applications in the context of employment decisions. But you could count on 2 hands the number of really significant laws across the country that are in place designed to help us make good decisions about use.
What are the concerns there? I know Gabby was saying she doesn't really use it much. I guess you're a little apprehensive maybe about what you feed it. What are some of the concerns, and are those concerns valid?
There are a range of concerns. It's a fascinating situation. You could pick almost any hot topic that, say, in this country, in the United States, that we've been arguing about, debating over the last 50 years. And you can see how it's indexed against artificial intelligence. In one way or another, the technology is being used as a kind of proxy for many debates. So whether that's concerns with the way that the children are exploited in various circumstances, or concerns with maintaining ownership over creative works that we create. You can look across many more domains as well, but there's certain concerns that are, in my opinion, endemic to the technology, intrinsic in it, that are much more about AI itself rather than the way that it can be linked up to these pre-existing issues. So many people, especially in our region, right in the Great Lakes area, many people are concerned with the amount of natural resources that they're learning these technologies require in order to operate effectively. There are hundreds of data centers in our area now. And I'm speaking broadly, right? The Great Lakes, not necessarily right down Michigan Avenue,
right.
but within a radius of say 100 miles where we are now, there are hundreds of data centers. And this has got a large and growing number of people concerned about the demands on water, right? We've got this huge body of water here, one of the largest freshwater bodies on the planet. And it's one of the reasons that many companies are interested in having larger AI infrastructure in place so they can take advantage of that. But if you expand to a global scale, there's also a lot of concern about the rare earth mineral extraction that's required to even build the chips before you even get to running the technology. And so many people are, especially folks, again, who had pre-existing concerns with environmental catastrophe and ecological conditions, they're worried that AI, even though it's not in many of the more rational takes on this, in my opinion, it's not the main driving force there, but it's exacerbating a pre-existing problem. So folks are worried about those types of things. People are also worried about their jobs. They feel that if half the stories that are told about how effective this technology is at doing work that only humans have been doing for decades, then they perhaps need to wonder what their role will be when the technology is widely distributed.
I think about 2026, midterm elections coming up. We know that played, a factor here in this last election, it being even more advanced, maybe, people using it more. How might that play into things when it comes to the midterms? What should we expect?
I'm anticipating at least two ways that artificial intelligence, and I'm really specifically talking about generative AI. So when I say AI, I'm really meaning generative AI. But I'm thinking about two ways that AI and politics will probably, high probability, likelihood, I'm saying here, of an interaction between them in 2026 around the midterm elections specifically. So one will be very likely electorate candidates, folks who are running for office, turning to AI controversies and using those to sway potential voters. So expressing their understanding of how important it is for one or another community to really understand what it means to incorporate AI, whether again it's environmental or some kind of political question. I think these politicians will be using that kind of concern that they know is out there to resonate with voters. And then another way, probably as important, if not more so, will be campaigns and individuals and organizations that are adjacent to campaigns that want one result or another, using AI to build more and more sophisticated info for consumption by voters, again, to try and sway voters.
When we look at AI now, we already think that it's pretty advanced. What's coming up next in the world of AI that maybe we don't even know about yet?
The models that make it possible for any of us to go to our preferred GPT model and pose questions to it and get responses, outputs from it, those models are getting more and more sophisticated by the day. It's one of the reasons that whether you're using a Google option, Gemini, or OpenAI's ChatGPT, whatever version we're up to now, you are on a regular basis hearing from these companies saying that a new and slightly different and oftentimes more advanced version is now available and that it's there for you to use. You should expect to see more of this, a continued pace, maybe even a quickened pace. You should also expect to see the AI models becoming more available on mobile devices in very sophisticated forms, whether those be our phones, they're already there, but imagine an even more muscular version of them. or eyeglasses, or even pieces that you might pin on, like this lovely UIC pin that I'm wearing.
But that's not AI.
It is not yet.
Okay, there we go. There we go. I'm curious to know, there at UIC, is there a lot of enrollment of people wanting to get into artificial intelligence strategy, get into this AI world, since it is booming right now? I mean, what does the future look like here in 10 years? Do you still expect to see this major growth? And is it a good time maybe for people to suggest their children to get into this career field?
Folks at UIC across the board, from students to faculty and staff, all the way up to leadership, are super excited about generative artificial intelligence, both in terms of the wide range of questions that the technology presents to us, but then also all of us are interested in using the technology to make the educational products that we provide more effective, more useful, and dare I say even more fun for learners. And so there's an incredible amount of excitement. We've got a range of strategic partners that we're working with, all of the larger AI companies, but then also some government units that are super interested in taking advantage of the expertise that UIC has to offer.
Sounds like we need to enroll in some
I that's what I'm thinking right now. I'm like,
behind.
wait a second, I have something to catch up on right now.
Honestly, and real quick before we let you go, is that an option? Can people take just a course to learn more about AI?
This is one of the most exciting things about 2026 at our campus, also at others, but of course I'm gonna say the most about what we're offering. So UIC will be offering courses, certainly for our students, a whole range of them, building on the courses that are already in place, and we do have plans to offer courses for the good people of ChicagoNOW.
Yeah, we need to sign up, Gabby. Don't forget when those classes come out. All right.
Mike Bennett, thank you so much.
It's my pleasure.
For breaking it down, because this is, complicated somewhat to know the backstory and what's to come with AI, ChatGPT. 3 years. Like I said, it's felt like 30.
Incredible.